I asked Joe if I could say a few minutes. I am Steve's older brother, as he said, and I'm here to tell you briefly a few things about Steve that you probably don't know. Now, I know all of you have known him for a long time, but I've known him obviously longer than anybody else in the room. So I was there at the beginning. In fact, when Joel asked, how did you meet? I didn't get my hand up quickly enough because I would have said, one day my parents brought home this squabbling infant. Who is that? And they explained to me, that's your new baby brother. And so ever since, we have been joined, not exactly at the hip, but certainly by bonds of fraternal love and admiration. Now, all of you know Steve is a man of many skills, many parts, many talents. And while I know some of you go back probably close to his college days, I dare say there are a few of you who know about him except what he's told you about his lifetimes earlier than that. So I am here to fill in that gap. Let's start with the obvious. We're here as a folk singing group, and you know Steve is a folk singer, but how did that happen? I don't know if any of you know the story. One rumor which I have heard, but I really don't believe, is that in his high chair at around age 2, he picked up a spoon and started beating out a rhythm and started singing, "This land is my land." Not true. It's an alternate fact. The real story is this. Our parents, especially our mother, were hardcore jazz fans. And we played a lot of music by people like Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, and among the men, Mel Torme, and so on, Frank Sinatra and others. And being somewhat older, I picked up on this stuff before he did, and so I would go around the house, usually singing Sinatra songs, something like that. One day, when he got old enough and had started to listen to the household music, he came to me and said, "I want to sing like Sinatra." And I said, "You cannot walk around the house singing like Sinatra. That's my turf." I pulled rank on him shamelessly, but that's what all the brothers do. And I said, "You got to go find somebody else to mimic, but you can't do Sinatra." As it happens, one day, not too long after that, we found ourselves, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, in, I think it was Folk City, hearing a couple of boys from Jamaica High School who were, Forest Hill, sorry, who were their first professional gig, Simon and Garfunkel, who were really there to hear somebody else. They were the second act on the bill. Right. Yeah, whoever they were, yeah. So after their set, Steve came up to me and he said, "Why don't we do Simon and Garfunkel?" They weren't known yet. We probably could have left them in the dust. And I said, and he said, "Listen, I'll be Simon," because he played the guitar. "You be Garfunkel." I said, no. I don't want to be Garfunkel. And that was the end of that. So finally, Steve found his model. I dare say it's true to say, originally it was Dave Van Ronk, and he has evolved past that now and is now his own man. But the laugh after me bossing him around turned out to be on me, because my singing career consisted of 2 impromptu appearances at dances at the Rego Park Jewish Center, while he became a performer and a recorder, and made records and so on. So as far as folk singing goes, that's how it started, and here he is, the man you know now. Now, there's another part. Oh, you can plug. Okay. Another part of Steve, I'm sure some of you know about, is that he is a major league stamp collector. Right? Now, and right alongside his folk singing career, that is something I remember for many, many years. And he's as good at that as he is at being a folk singer. Well, how did that start? Well, when I was a kid, I built model airplanes, scale models. Now, if you're familiar with that, you know that after a plane is painted, there are those little things that come in a kit called decals, right? They're words or insignia, and you stick them on the plane to make it look realistic. And all of a sudden I remember, this escaped me for a long time, the stuff that we used to paint the planes was called dope. And you would not know why unless you ever smelled the stuff. But that's a digression. Anyway, so there I was one day sticking decals on one of my model planes, and Steve came up and he reached his hand into the kit to grab one of the decals. Cut it out. He said, but they're nice. I said, yes, they are. He said, I want some. And I said, look, kid, you can't have the decals, but there's these other things called postage stamps. And he was very young, didn't know quite what those were, so I grabbed an envelope from somewhere and I said, see the little picture? Those are really nice, and they come in pictures, and there are kings, and all kinds of stuff. So he started collecting stamps, and here he is now as a stamp collector. In fact, a few years ago, he won the grand prize at the annual Philatelic Association stamp meeting, and he never even told me about it. I discovered it online, actually. So, I mean, not only was he a great stamp collector, but he was a modest one, the opposite of, who we were singing about earlier. Now, there's something else. Many of you who know, can't be nervous, I've got very tired the last couple of days, about Steve's walks. If you follow him on Facebook, you know that he is a very good amateur historian. And he takes these walks along Queens and Brooklyn. There's a story about that too, briefly. I was born in Brooklyn, which is the cool place to be born. Still is. Always will be. Steve was born in Queens. Now, when he came home, now, Queens has become cool ever since Jackson Heights, where we both lived for a while, got landmarked, and it's an up-and-coming area. But back then, it was not cool. So Steve wanted to be born in Brooklyn. But I said, no, 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 no. I was born in Brooklyn, you were born in Queens. So we had this back and forth for several years about, I was born there, you were born here, no you weren't, yes I was, and blah, 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 on and on. Finally, he said, I'm going to show you. So he went out for a walk along the Queens-Brooklyn border to find out where it was. And finally, much to his chagrin, he had to admit that he was born in Queens, but the last laugh obviously was on me, because as I said earlier, Queens has now become the cool place to be. One more brief story. Now, all of you know, along with all the rest of this, he's a political activist, right? The question is, how did that start? Well, again, there's a story you don't know. Back in the days when he was an activist, it fell to me occasionally, as the older brother, to go bail him out. Now, back in the 60s, I worked for an outfit here in New York that did legal reform work that brought people like me into the courts. Now, I was not a lawyer. I was a researcher at this place. But every once in a while, I would get a midnight phone call and say, there's some protest been held, some demonstration, and he's picked up again, and would I go get your brother? And of course, I would say yes to whoever was on the other end of the phone. So I would get dressed in a suit, pick up a briefcase, go down to the courts, where I knew the different courts, and I never said that I was a lawyer. But I would walk up to the court clerk, and he would invariably say, "Yes, counselor." And I did not disabuse him. God help me. And I say, "I'm looking for so-and-so and so-and-so. Where is he?" And he'd say, "Well, that group from that demonstration is right now in the holding pen in court Part A, or they're in the House of D right now." And I would go find him and get him out of there. Now, the other part of this story is that our mother was very unhappy, not with him doing demonstrations, but with the fact that I was a pretend lawyer. Not really so much that I was a pretend lawyer, but that I was not a pretend doctor. Which is what she really wanted. So after several years of being a pretend lawyer at this place, I acceded to my mother's wishes and became a pretend doctor by going to work at a healthcare place. Now, I've thought about this over the years, especially tonight, because if I had been a pretend doctor from day one, I never would have gotten midnight phone calls to bail Steve out. I would not have been able to be a pretend lawyer going down to the courts and, finagling my way in to get him out of there. And he wouldn't have gotten bailed out. He probably would have served a long jolt in prison, turned into a hardened criminal, did not become an activist. So by the sheer stroke of luck of my initial employment, he is here now, saving the world, singing songs, and being an all-around good guy. So, Steve, more than that I can't say, except to say that it's been a great 70 years. He's a good guy. I love him very much. And I know, as he said on his Facebook page, outlive Trump. Now he'll outlive Trump. He's probably going to outlive all of us. So to Steve, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And all the best.